coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor. This is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
Good evening, I'm Surat Sessi, and you're watching MediaPlex News Now. Were you feeling blue yesterday? The third Monday in January is referred to by some as Blue Monday. Thomas Miko brings us more.
This time of the year, people dealing with depression and anxiety. Today, people were able to find out what services available for them at the Bounce Back Open House. Karen Gignitz tells us more about the program.
So what we're doing today is to recognize that people struggle with mental health issues all year round, and we wanted to have something for the community to come in and see what's available now, without a wait or a long wait to access services.
In Canada, youth between the age of 15 to 24 had the highest rates of anxiety and depression of all age groups.
One of the resources that we're going to be featuring today is called Bounce Back, and that is a program that can be accessed for free by all residents of Ontario age 15 and over. And how you access it, you can access it in two different ways. You can access it through online by accessing the videos for free, and you don't have to register. It can be done anonymously, or you can send in a referral, either yourself or your primary care provider, and receive a phone call from a coach who will walk you through an assessment about your needs.
For the MediaPlex News, Thomas Miko reports.
Now let's send it over to Lauren O'Brien for an early look at the weather. Lauren?
Hi, I'm here to tell you about a freezing rain warning and the possibility of 2 centimeters of snow. Temperature is sitting around 0, giving us unsettled conditions. I'll be back a little later in the show with your free day forecast.
As we know, it's freezing outside with a cold weather alert issued by Environment Canada. Rajat Kaushal caught up with CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald to talk about the dangers of cold weather.
So Gary, what are the dangers with this kind of cold?
Unfortunately, these temperatures are so bitterly cold that just in a very few minutes, a person could experience frostbite. And we're talking about the dangers of becoming an amputee. I know this story very personally. My late father, being a new Canadian many years ago, did not realize the dangers of being in such extreme cold and exposure like this, and lost 4 fingers on his left hand. So I know it personally, and I would hate for anyone else to suffer those kinds of consequences. These temperatures are 15 to 20 degrees below seasonal across southern Ontario, with this huge polar air mass that moved in after this significant snowstorm. It's going to be like this for the next couple of days, and it will be cold throughout this week. We just have to dress accordingly, and if we're cold, our pets are cold too, so we want to keep our cats and dogs and any of our furry friends inside as well.
Okay. And Gary, would you tell people why is it happening right at this point of time?
Right now, the pattern is such that a very large polar Arctic air mass has descended across the Canadian Shield and the Great Lakes region where we live in Ontario, and specifically in southwestern Ontario. We have clear skies, a ridge of high pressure which only enhances that cold air coming out of the north and northwest right now. And that cold air mass is going to stay in place, and that's one of the reasons why temperatures are so well below seasonal. And factor in the winds, wind chill is just making it even more uncomfortable to be outside if you're not dressed warmly enough.
Lauren O'Brien is standing by with a special guest, Constable Amanda Allen from Crime Stoppers.
I'm with Constable Amanda Allen from Crime Stoppers. It's Crime Stoppers Month, and what are you guys doing to celebrate?
Well, you know what? This year's a little bit different. We're really working on our partnerships, and we do have a number of events coming up, but we've been so excited. We've been teaching here at St. Clair, and we've got a new partnership coming up, so we want people to stay tuned because there's some new print material coming out in partnership with St. Clair.
So I understand there's a big fundraiser coming up. Could you tell me about that?
That's right. So this Thursday night, we will be at the Spitfires game. So go Spits, and our Chuck-a-Puck event is going on. But really our big first event of the year is our game dinner. And it's very unique. For those people that are foodies that want to try something different, there's kangaroo bites, or kangaroo stir fry, and crocodile bites. And of course, Colasanti's always has their chicken. But it's really such a unique menu, and it's really a great way for us to kick off the year.
All right, and where can we leave some tips?
Well, if people are looking for any information, whether it's to buy tickets for the fundraiser or to submit tips online, it's www.catchcrooks.com, or by phone to submit a tip anonymously, it's 519-258-8477.
All right, and have there been any crimes lately?
Well, as always, unfortunately, crime is continuing, and we do rely on our media partners. So I would say if you've seen any crime story, whether it's covered here or any other source, whether it's in print, please take a look. If the story is asking for information, as always, you can submit information to Crime Stoppers 24/7 anonymously, and you won't have to go to court, and with us, you could earn a cash reward.
Okay, and what was that number again?
519-258-8477. That's 258-TIPS.
All right. Thank you, Constable Amanda Allen from Crime Stoppers. Back to you, Siraj.
A new product on Amazon is causing conflict, and as Abdul Al-Husami explains, a group of Windsorites is doing something about it.
In a diverse country like Canada, there are over 1 million Muslims. The Windsor Islamic Association members noticed Amazon selling products that are considered offensive to Muslims. The products included doormats with a Quranic verse on, bathroom rug mats that varied from including mosques in the background or women wearing headscarf or niqab. Imam Muhammad Mahmoud considered those products to be offensive and asked Muslims to report them.
Email them and Twitter them and write complaint, and your voice, I'm sure, will have a weight.
All the reviews on Amazon for those products were negative and asking Amazon to remove them. Muslims were not the only ones to feel that way about those products. Rebecca Mickle, a university professor, thinks it's unacceptable.
A bath mat is something that when you're getting out of the shower, you're drying your feet off on it. It's so disrespectful to wipe your feet off on a woman.
So far, there has been no response from Amazon. I am Abdurrahim Al-Husami, reporting for MediaPlex.
Summer Nora's life was saved by blood donors when she was just 11 years old. Now 32, she acts as an advocate with Canadian Blood Services. She sat down with Trisha Kundu for this edition of 3 Minutes With.
Today I'm doing 3 Minutes with Samar Nohra, who is an advocate of Canadian Blood Services. So, Samar, what made you an advocate of blood donation here?
So when I was 11 years old, I was diagnosed with a rare blood disorder called aplastic anemia. So essentially my bone marrow shut down and stopped producing all blood cells. And I was taken to Toronto Sick Kids Hospital, where I received daily blood donations of whole blood, plasma, as well as platelets. And that was ongoing for about 4.5 months, where I needed almost daily transfusions. And then as I continued to need treatment for about 1.5 to 2 years, I gradually needed less, but I still required quite a bit of blood donations. And so now that I'm older, I can't donate, unfortunately, because of what I went through. So I thought I should be an advocate and raise awareness so that those that are in need can receive units as well.
And how would you describe your childhood growing up?
I mean, it was good, aside from going through that. I mean, even as going through that, I think as a child, you're kind of guarded from a lot that's going on. So I kind of understood what was happening, but not to the full extent. So it was difficult. I mean, I had to be tutored at home because I couldn't go to school for the whole year because I didn't have white blood cells. My immune system was really weak. And so I would have a teacher come and teach me at home. I couldn't really socialize with my friends, which was difficult while I was going through that. But aside from that, once I overcame the aplastic anemia, it was wonderful. I just was a normal kid growing up and trying to fit in.
And what was the age you overcame this rare blood disorder?
So I was in critical condition for about a year. but I was still monitored quite closely up until I was 19, and that's just because anytime I would catch a cold, my numbers would drop again. So my body was still quite weak, trying to catch up. Even now as an adult, if I get a really bad flu, it just takes me a bit of extra time to catch up and heal. Yeah, but I would say that I was in really, really bad maybe until I was about 14, and then from there just monitor to make sure I was okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And when it comes to blood donation in Canada, what do you think is the most pressing issue?
I think it's raising awareness about how important it is. Only 4% of Canadians actually try and do donate blood, which is a very low number. And I think that's just because people maybe go in once, but then they forget that it's an ongoing need. So every minute of every day, somebody needs blood. So it's very important to go back. You can go back and donate whole blood every 56 days. For platelets, you could do every 2 weeks. So it's really important, I think, especially for younger generations, to not just donate once if they do it with their high school drive, but to go back and continue giving, because there's always patients that are in need of blood donations.
And when was the first time you realized that you want to spread awareness?
I think when I was 17, because I went to donate blood and was told I couldn't, and so I felt like I really wanted to give back, and so I was 17 years old when I started advocating with them.
Oh, thank you so much. This is 3 Minutes with Samar Nohra, and I'm Trisha Kundu.
Help for today, hope for tomorrow. That's the mission of the Alzheimer's Society of Windsor and Essex County, as it hosted the 8th annual Battle of Brains over the weekend. Cindy Zhang was on the scene.
What device would we use to detect and count individual particles of radiation?
I'm standing inside of the Chicharo Club of Windsor. The Southwest Ontario Master 10 Charity event is here tonight. The Battle of the Brain, dinners, and the Trivia Challenge. This is the 8th year of this event. So what's new for this event?
In 2012, Battle of the Brains began with 30 teams in support of Alzheimer's Awareness Month. Now it is the 8th year. That number has jumped to 146 teams and more than 1,100 team members.
Tonight we'll be seeing questions equal parts sports, movies, television, rock and pop music, and general knowledge. So we test everyone's knowledge in a lot of areas at the same time.
This event becomes the largest live charity quiz fundraiser in North America from last year. It is quite meaningful for Alzheimer's Society of the Windsor and Essex County.
Throughout Windsor and Essex County, there is over 7,000 people who are diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia, and those are just the people we know about. Over the past 7 Battle of the Brains, we've raised almost $100,000.
Organizers hope the efforts will one day lead to a cure. For MediaPlex, I'm Cindy Zhang.
The new Canada Food Guide came out today. Cassidy McNair tells you what should be different on your dinner plate.
It's a new year, it's a new you, and there's a new Canada Food Guide. Say goodbye to the rainbow. One of the changes Canadians will see is food grouped into 24 categories. This will replace the previous 4 categories of meat and alternatives, milk and alternatives, vegetables and fruit, and grain products. In 1942, when the first food guide was released, it had 6 sections, so changes to food recommendations isn't anything new. Food guides in the 1950s may have suggested you eat liver frequently and often, but the current edition will feature more plant-based nutrition sources. In fact, a recent document from the government says Canadians should be eating less red meat and saturated fats, so don't bring home the bacon. Canadians should also be drinking less sugary drinks and juice. The new food guide puts a strong emphasis on drinking lots of water. The food guide will focus less on serving amounts and more on general nutrition. The healthy choice is up to you. Next time you go for a glass of morning orange juice, think twice about it. I'm Cassidy McNair, and this has been your Health Minute today.
Once again, students at the University of Windsor have joined their hands with the goal of helping children with autism spectrum disorder. Mirjana Yanukovic has the details.
Students organized the 8th annual Golden Mind Charity Gala at the Forlan Club over the weekend. The event was organized by Behavior Cognition and Neuroscience Students Association. The goal of the charity gala was to raise money for the Bruce Award Summer Program for the children with autism spectrum disorder.
We learn a lot about different neurological disorders and how important it is to include individuals in the community, the types of services that they need, and ways that we can be most accepting and inclusive of them.
President of the BCN Association points out the eagerness of students to participate in charity galas.
It's something that we've always really done. We love to give back to the community, and it's something that our students really expect from us because that's something that they really love to happen.
The Bruce Award Summer Program is run by the Autism Services Incorporated Agency. It helps children with autism disorder learn more about communication, behavior, and social skills.
There's a huge waiting list because there's only enough funding to provide for those 60 or so children and adolescents. So that shows you the demand for the program is there, and as more and more children are diagnosed on the autism spectrum, especially those at the severe end of the spectrum, that's what this program mainly provides for.
Raffle prizes on Charity Gala come from donors and individuals who want to help. 60 children are in the program at 2 locations in Windsor and Essex County. An autism registry is available for parents to identify children with autism. What says the program costs almost $4,000 per child. People with autism are among the most vulnerable people of the society. They need protection and they need help. Fundraising are a way of showing how good people of Windsor and Essex County care and contribute to the growth of the community.
Now let's go back over to Lauren O'Brien to see what our forecast has in store this week. Lauren?
Thanks, Siraj. Now let's take a look at our 3-day forecast. Wednesday, we can expect rain of all things with a high of 6. Thursday, the temperatures return to normal for this time of year with a chance of flurries and a high of -3. The Arctic air is back on Friday with a chance of flurries and a high of -9. That was the weather. I'm Lauren O'Brien, and back to you, Siraj.
Wondering what we are up to here in the MediaPlex? Our programs are fully converged and bring journalism skills to the next level. Take a look.
Journalism enables people to be well informed. It's documenting history. It's an extraordinary way for people to be connected with their community.
What happens in the world affects us. What happens in our community affects us. What happens in the province affects us. And we get to be the eyes and ears and tell the stories. There are many stories that need to be told, and those things add value to our life.
It's neat to know that so many people are relying on me. It makes you strive for perfection, or makes you strive for accuracy.
The journalism program here at St. Clair College is a convergence journalism program. Convergence means the merging together of print, radio, and television, and the web, and putting all different stories into 3 or 4 different platforms.
I can go out now and I can understand how to write a print. I know how to do social media. I can shoot a video. So you start to trust yourself and to use your journalistic skills.
In 21st century newsrooms, journalists have to be able to do it all.
We ask every one of our reporters to tell stories in multiple ways.
There's a different style of writing for print than there is for radio, than there is for television. And it's really important that the information gets out that is true to those platforms.
We are one of the few, if not the only, program that is actually taking students to a live broadcast and giving them that opportunity and that experience.
I want to be a journalist because I think I like to listen other stories.
午间好，这里是媒体综合新闻节目，我是谭一丹，欢迎收看。
I find that the students that come out of St. Clair College are already at or above where some of our broadcast employees have been over the last several years.
I feel that I made the greatest decision I could by choosing this program because I have learned so much, and I think that I can only grow from here.
I would hands down recommend the program to someone considering it. I would recommend it to someone that's not even considering it. they teach you such a vast array of different skills, different platforms, different things that you could really apply to so many different careers.
Based on literally hundreds of interns I've seen over the years, St. Clair students are better prepared to go into the work environment in media than most students coming out of colleges and universities across North America.
I think it's that very comprehensive curriculum that we have that creates converged journalists that sets this journalism school apart.
The Reserve Unit recruiter for the Armories in Windsor joins Jordan Ferris on set for a 3 Minutes With interview.
Hi, and welcome to MediaPlex 3 Minutes With. Today I'm joined with Sergeant Jim Wright of the Windsor-Tilson Armory. Sergeant, how are you?
Not too bad, yourself?
I'm pretty good, thank you. So let me just get right into it. What's your official role at the Armory, and what are the duties that come with that?
My official role is Reserve Unit Recruiter. It's my job to actually go out and meet high school students, college students such as yourself, to go through and try and get them to join the Canadian Armed Forces Primary Reserve. What we're doing is we're actually offering you a part-time job that you can work through while you're in school, one night a week and one weekend a month, and that's going to carry out through the summer. We're going to offer you a full-time job for the first 4 years of your career. During that time, we're going to ensure that you get all the necessary training you need to become an effective soldier of the Canadian Forces.
All right, and you mentioned, you're looking for students in high school and college and all that. Mm-hmm. What are some of the benefits of a student joining the Reserve Force?
Well, first and foremost, we're going to guarantee you a full-time summer job. That's something that every student needs throughout their scholastic career just to make ends meet, not to mention help with tuition. We have a tuition reimbursement program where we can guarantee you 50% of your tuition up to $2,000 per year for the first 4 years of your college or university. And that's usually a big help. I know myself when I was in high school and college, if I could get that kick, it would have been great.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a little bit of extra.
Makes mom and dad happy too.
Yeah, they love that. So, time constraints is something students deal with a lot. So if a student were to apply, how long should they expect this application process to take?
We try to get everything done within 6 weeks. Okay, from the time you apply online to the time you're actually enrolled and sworn into the Canadian Forces. There are hiccups along the way, whether it's the applicant's area where they're not bringing in the documentation we need, or if there's medical issues that the doctors have to actually get involved. Because we do have an aptitude test and a physical test you must do prior to getting enrolled.
All right, and sticking with the time constraints, say a student, exam season comes around and they're unable to make it in to, to duty or anything. How would they go about that?
Simply notify your chain of command. We're very flexible with that. Our program is geared towards students. So if you can't make it in for a parade night or make an exercise on the weekend, not a problem. We will actually accommodate you for that.
All right. And so I guess just a little personal tidbit. How long have you been at the Armory for?
I've been at the Armory since 1996. I actually joined the regular force back in '91, and I've been doing this ever since.
Has it been a fun experience for you?
I love it. I wouldn't be here right now talking to you about it if I didn't enjoy it.
What would you say to a new recruit or someone thinking about joining to, maybe bump them up, get their interest going?
You have a lot of, how can I put this? You have a lot of opportunities out there. Don't think that you're going to come in and it's just going to be just like you see on TV. It's nothing like that. We're a brotherhood. We're a big family. We're all there to support you, and if you have any issues or problems, we're there to help you through them. Okay? You can go all over the country or all over the world with us, and it's all volunteer-based with the reserves. We're not going to force you to go anywhere. It's all what you make of it.
Perfect. Thank you. This has been 3 Minutes with Jim Wright.
Adventure Bay has been splashing the community with good times for 5 years. The city celebrated the occasion over the weekend. Oliver Zhao has more details.
Although the weather conditions outside are cold, Adventure Bay was warm, welcoming. People came to celebrate the water park's 5th birthday on Saturday. Mayor Drew Dawkins cut the birthday cake in the lobby.
Big party here today to celebrate the 5th anniversary of Adventure Bay. Over 630,000 people have walked through the door since we opened 5 years ago. And so today's a great day for the entire community to come out, celebrate in the park, and wish our wonderful city facility 5th birthday. Happy 5th birthday. Adventure Bay and the natatorium here, the swimming pool, are really all about quality of life, helping make our city more interesting and to keep folks here to facilitate health and wellness. So we have a number of swim teams and a dive club that work out here, and it's really to make it better for everyone who lives in the community. And a place like Adventure Bay, we're quite fortunate in the city of Windsor. It's one of the largest municipally run water parks in the entire country.
I'm Oliver Zhao for MediaPlex News.
Sidney Crosby once attended a hockey prep school, and now young hockey players get the chance to do the same. Tate Harris has the story.
The WFCU Center is known to most as the home of the Spitfires. But what people don't know is that it's also home to Windsor's only hockey prep school. A21 Academy offers sports development combined with university-based education.
A program like this, it's really geared to development. You know, kids are getting about 500 hours of, say, on and off ice development with SAT prep on the academic side. So it's a little bit more long-term thinking.
Canada's West Coast has seen prep schools become the top option for players looking to develop their skills. The Canadian Sports School Hockey League in British Columbia and Alberta has 22 teams compared to the 14 that play with A21 in the Prep School Hockey Federation. Andrew Sykes, owner and director of scouting of the Scout.ca, told me in an email that success of a school can breed growth. It should definitely continue to grow as each one that comes along finds success. Granted, it is well run and gets a positive word of mouth going. As A21 continues to establish itself, it may one day produce an NHL player. But even without that, it offers something different for players locally. So after a long day of playing some hockey and going to class, the ice waits for the return of these players. I'm Tay Harris. This is MediaPlex News Now.
Matt Flood got a sneak peek at Corteo, Cirque du Soleil's newest show. It's currently in Detroit and comes to Windsor this spring.
The circus came to town. Cirque du Soleil stopped in Detroit last week to perform their show Corteo at the Little Caesars Arena. Combining acrobatics, music, and choreography, Corteo tells the life story of Morrow the Dreamer Clown imagining his own carnival-esque funeral as he passes to the afterlife. The story is filmed with highs and lows, both physical and emotional, as it celebrates Morrow's life. Artistic director Mark Schaub knows this well.
We've created a vehicle to sort of explore people's emotions around their friends, around their loved ones, and yet we're doing that in a circus performance.
Originally premiering as a big top show in 2005, Corteo broke records and has moved across 19 countries. The show briefly ended in 2015, but re-emerged in arena format in 2018, allowing it to reach small-scale cities as well as large ones. But arena format means more time on the road and can make life hectic for the Cirque crew. Aerialist Aaron Cervantes describes this firsthand.
I think with this particular show being an arena tour, I think the hardest thing for me personally would be the traveling every week and trying to time manage your training with your rest, with how tired you are from constantly moving.
Cirque du Soleil's Corteo is going to be arriving in Windsor from May 15th to 19th. You can go ahead and get your tickets at the WFCU Center, or you can go online to the Cirque du Soleil website and buy them there. For MediaPlex News, I'm Matt Flood.
I'm Sarat Sessi, and you've been watching MediaPlex News Now.
MediaPlex News Now is a production of the St. Clair College Journalism Program.